This message is to bring peace to the minds of those who are fearful about the coronavirus, COVID-19, and to enlighten with knowledge, to heighten awareness so that you don't feel powerless. You can do simple, very simple things to decrease your chances of becoming ill and increase your body's natural healing abilities by providing it with the basic things it needs for healing, like oxygen and water. We know these requirements of the body. It seems simple, but the truth of why they're so important, especially in this time, has not been explained. The how-to will also be explained in this public service announcement. Know that if done mindfully, you can heal almost any disease with a few factors taken into consideration. This information is just that, information. Information requires that the listener have the desire to make use of it and the willingness to learn the necessary knowledge. This information will help put your mind at ease, and if taken and practiced in conjunction with other measures of social distancing and regular hygiene routines, is guaranteed to reduce the number of illnesses due to COVID-19. Knowledge is power, and over the millennia, knowledge was reserved for the few. Much of human history was shaped because those in power kept the masses undereducated or illiterate, and therefore subordinated to the ruling class. Our knowledge has been kept in separate boxes of speciality, making it difficult to see that the specialities are but parts of the whole. Time to connect the dots. Let us return to what we know. We know that our body, our vehicle for divine consciousness, is self-healing. Let us begin by recognizing that the human organism is self-healing. If you think about it, your personal experiences confirm for you that this is true. Those who are dying from COVID-19 have underlying chronic health issues, diagnosed or undiagnosed, which render the person less hydrated and therefore more acidic. The self-healing mechanisms at work in them require an abundance of liquid to continue with their ongoing healing processes. Hydration is the foundation of our self-healing organism, and it is an actual intervention for aging. Those who are dying with COVID-19 are dying predominantly from pneumonia and some from microblood clots affecting many organs. Clotting and pneumonia are both related to dehydration because dehydration slows the healing effects of the immune system, our detoxifying system of miraculous, shape-shifting self-preservation. Pneumonia affects the lungs. The lungs are naturally lined with a protective layer of mucus containing white blood cells. This mucus is the miraculous repair system's, the immune system's, initial defense. The stickiness of mucus traps substances from the air like toxins, bacteria, mold, or viruses such as COVID-19. The white blood cells then analyze the foreign substances and intelligently decide whether just to eliminate them or to activate the immune response in order to build antibodies for protective immunity. When a person is dehydrated, their mucus is thicker. The thicker the mucus, the slower it moves, the slower the immune response. In the case of pneumonia, the lungs fill with this thickened mucus, which is attempting to do its job, and air exchange becomes difficult. Oxygen absorption is decreased, and carbon dioxide release is hampered. We know that children do not yet have a fully formed immune system, and so it is interesting that very few children are dying with the coronavirus. The question then becomes, why are children better equipped to build immunity to this virus? And the answer is hydration. Hydration is what the self-healing human animal needs. Children are closer to living from their true animal awareness. Children live more in the present moment. They are more true to their being. The thirst mechanism of children has not yet been converted to a sensation of hunger. When children feel thirsty, they drink. As adults, having denied our body's sensations year after year, the human animal body can predict that we will again deny the sensation of thirst, and so intelligently, knowing that food contains liquid, the body will send messages of hunger, which are less likely to be ignored. So as we age, our thirst is translated into hunger, yet the body's primary need is for fluid to maintain homeostasis, the balance that maintains life. Secondly, adults drink alcohol and typically drink more caffeine in the form of coffee than children do. Although children of our consumeristic culture may fast be catching up to the levels of diuretics that adults consume, considering the consumption of chocolate, colas, and coffee drinks loaded with sugar for palatability, caffeinated tea, as well as other sodas that contain caffeine. For optimal health, the drinking of liquid should be separated from eating. Ideally, we would drink to hydrate while continuing to fast upon waking. Optimally, for adults, this would be at least 3 liters, providing there isn't a diagnosis of heart failure, vascular, or kidney disease. Once the desired hydration level is achieved, then break the fast and eat. Drinking liquid with food dilutes our stomach acid. When we dilute that acid, the body must produce more acid to ensure a proper job has been done in breaking up food for nutrient absorption and to be chemically washed of pathogens such as bacteria, molds, or viruses. If more acid is needed, then more liquid is needed to neutralize the acid. Diluting our stomach acid creates mild temporary dehydration, hence why we can feel tired after we eat a meal, because one of dehydration's early warning signs is general tiredness. Another early sign of dehydration is thick saliva or spit. A quick test for dehydration. Do 30 seconds of exercise, stairs, jumping jacks, or sit-ups, and if you feel exhaustion begin to set in, it's likely you are dehydrated. Most adults have been chronically dehydrated for years, and so thickened saliva may seem normal to them. After 3 days of hydrating properly, your saliva becomes thinner, more watery. So, to stay well hydrated, we need to stop drinking a half hour before eating and give the body at least 2 hours to chemically digest our food before we add liquids. Many things that we consume are acid-forming, and disease thrives in an acidic environment. The lower the pH of our tissues, the harder the body has to work to alkalize to maintain health. Fear is acidifying. Consumption of negative thoughts release acidifying neurochemistry. Stress hormones are highly acidifying. Alkalinity is essential for life and for healing. Let us simply state a few things that are alkaline promoting. Chlorophyll. The greener the plant, the healthier it is. Outside air is almost always alkalizing. And joy. Joy produces the hormonal neurochemistry that is nourishing for the body and promotes alkalinity. The single most helpful thing for buttressing the immune system to protect against a coronavirus like COVID-19 is hydration with alkaline fluid. Other important points to be made about food and hydration are that if we are eating small, frequent meals, we have acid in our stomachs all day long. This also requires more liquid to be pulled from the body to raise our pH. Daily morning fasting, as well as performing longer fasts, is important for adults, not just to maintain a pH around 7.45, but fasting, while hydrating, gives our intestines a chance to flush sluggish debris and to rest. It is also important to note that if we eat our food too quickly and don't properly chew our food to mush, the stomach needs to produce more acid to digest the chunks. Again, to wash the food from pathogens and to make it small enough that the nutrients can be absorbed in the villi of our intestines to nourish the cells of our body. Along with proper hydration, moving our bodies is also of prime importance for lung health and overall health in general. When we move our bodies, we naturally take deeper breaths, which expands our lungs. Deep breathing exercises are great for this because lung expansion is key in decreasing the likelihood of acquiring pneumonia. Being sedentary, we take shallow breaths, which allows the bottom portions of our lungs to remain essentially stuck together, and bacteria replicates every 20 minutes exponentially. So this warm, dark, blood-rich place, and blood is fertilizer for bacteria as well as nourishment for our cells, now becomes the perfect environment for bacteria to grow. And let us recall that pneumonia is what most people are dying from with COVID-19. Said another way, deep breathing prevents the bases of our lungs from sticking together, which is the primary cause for bacterial pneumonia and a great contributor to viral pneumonia, fluid stasis in the pulmonary tissue. Movement is so important for this reason of expanding the lungs. Movement also helps detoxify the body from foreign substances, like viruses. When we move and take deeper breaths, our heart pumps faster, and it not only opens our vessels to provide more alkalizing oxygen to our cells, but the dilated vessels also help nutrient-rich blood push through stagnation where disease can begin. When we move, the heart pumps faster and more forcefully, which creates more positive and negative pressure exerted on the thymus, which sits very close to the heart. The heart's natural beating exerts pressure on the thymus, the center storehouse for the lymphatic system, which is the foundation of our immune system, the detox system of the self-healing human organism. One of the lymph system's important jobs is the transporting of toxins or pathogens from tissues for elimination. And so a key element of our body being able to detoxify from cellular waste or find and remove foreign substances like bacteria and viruses is having this rapid, forceful pressure of the heart beating, which pushes and pulls our lymphatic fluid. A good belly laugh has a similar effect. The heaving of the diaphragm exerts pressure that helps the thymus and the lymph detoxify the body. Love detoxifies. Loving human touch sponsors the release of happy hormones, which are alkalizing. And interestingly, fear and love come from the same place. Fear is but a call for love, as the neurochemical oxytocin has proven. The single most essential thing that our body needs to maintain life is oxygen. Oxygen is vital for every cellular process, and oxygen buffers the blood to make it more alkaline, therefore less acidic. Note that for ease and understanding, the word acidic is used throughout, yet we are naturally alkaline. In this context here, the word acidic is used to describe the lower end of the 7.35 to 7.45 homeostatic balance. Healing requires alkalinity. Oxygen raises the pH of our blood, alkalizing it. As we've learned more about COVID-19, we've discovered that giving oxygen to patients earlier could prevent the need for a ventilator, and putting a failing patient on a ventilator earlier gives them a better chance. Here's why. Oxygen alkalizes and promotes the body's natural healing ability. A ventilator forces oxygen into the compromised lungs, helping the person get more oxygen to their tissues. Simply, oxygen heals because it alkalizes. While the body is working all day long to maintain homeostasis, the vast majority of healing is done at night, when our internal pressures and external stressors are lowered. Here is one simple thing you can do to give more healing power, more oxygen to your body overnight. If you are able, sleep on your left side. Sleeping on your left side gives your body more oxygen with each breath because of the intelligent design of our organs and their placement within the chest cavity. The right lung has 3 lobes, or portions, and the left lung has 2 lobes. When we sleep on our left side, the heart and liver, which are heavy organs, fall to the left side, giving more expansion room to the 3 lobes of the right lung, more alveoli surface area, more oxygenation, more alkalization, more healing. While the skin is the heaviest and largest organ of the human body, the liver is the heaviest inside the body, discounting the lymph tissue, which would outweigh the liver when we are well hydrated. Looking at a picture of the anatomy of the thoracic cavity, you will see that the heart is slightly shifted toward the left side of the body, and when lying on the left side, the liver, like a puzzle piece, tucks in around the shape of the heart, providing space for the right lower lobes to expand, increasing the surface area available for air exchange. In the end, it's all about hydration and oxygenation that lead to a more alkaline state, which is the essential foundation for healing. Let us not miss this opportunity to take what we are learning to the next level, recognizing the gifts of this coronavirus. Dreams have come true for me and for you. Many people in this time have seen their longings materialize. Here are some examples. How many children have wished to have more time with their parents? Secondly, creative people are out of work and have the time they longed for to let their creativity flow. And perhaps the most profound dream come true for those who felt sorrow, the Great Depression over the state of the world, can now see hope, knowing things are about to change radically. To quote American philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson, "There is always some leveling circumstance that puts down the overbearing, the strong, the rich, the fortunate, substantially on the same ground with all others." As we are now seeing and feeling the truth of, we are all in this together. To recap, Cause of death with COVID-19 is prominently pneumonia, which is primarily a disease of chronic dehydration, which leads to acidosis. Hydration is the foundation for our self-healing organism. Oxygen is essential for all bodily functions. To increase healing oxygen quantities at night, sleep on your left side. Deep breathing brings in more oxygen and helps alkalize as well as detoxify. Joy creates alkalizing neurochemistry. Laughter helps to detoxify. Drinking while eating dilutes stomach acid and therefore leads to mild temporary dehydration. Stop drinking 30 minutes before eating anything. Chew food into mush before swallowing to avoid need for excess acid. Do not drink while eating. Allow 2 to 3 hours after eating before drinking liquids to allow stomach acid to carry out its function. Hydrate in the morning and refrain from eating for as long as is comfortable to do so during a day. You have free will and can choose that which you wish to do. Knowledge is power. This is a beginning. With your attention to this knowledge, your body will speak its gratitude, and you will hear it and know because of how you feel. As we practice what we've learned here, our minds will be free from fear. As we remember what is clear, we share everything here. To help yourself, have conversations with others about the material presented here. And to help others, we ask that you spread this to decrease the spread of COVID-19. We can see now that about life we do care. To decrease the spread, please do share. The truth shall set us free. Everything exists in language. Everything exists because of our agreement. We have agreed with and participate in the unquestioned traditions of our ancestors. Now, in our global consumeristic culture, corporations manufacture our consent for our participation. Yet what is the truth that is beyond everything is the force that enables all. We are all in this together. This is the truth about us, that we are all united by the force of creation in us all. Science is aptly poised to reveal this truth. Things shift because of the observer's perception. Let us return to the awareness of language, which houses concepts such as dispossession, slavery, addiction, military, zoonotic disease, and consumption conflated with the murder of the planet. And let us look honestly at the origin of these afflictions of the human race, which render us the pathogen or virus to our host, planet Earth. Agriculture is the birthplace of them all. Agriculture is the birthplace of dispossession, depriving people of land, property, or possessions, which equals poverty. Agriculture is the birthplace of military. Stored grain now needs police, using violence to prevent theft of grain that slaves cultivated for the empire. Agriculture is the birthplace of slavery because it takes great effort, intense labor to work against the forces of nature, to eradicate whole living communities, to grow one crop, a monoculture, which nature doesn't even recognize because nature exists as a diverse web of interconnectivity. Agriculture is the birthplace of addiction. We believe grain was the first thing cultivated. Grains are carbohydrates, which is sugar, which is the world's oldest addiction, because we just want to feel good, and sugar, like a drug, releases dopamine. Agriculture is the birthplace of zoonotic diseases, bacteria, parasites, or viruses transmitted from animals to humans, because population density ensures many hosts and therefore survival. Examples: Ebola, SARS, which is coronavirus 1, and COVID-19, which is SARS coronavirus 2. Agriculture is the birthplace of consumption in destruction. Destruction of the natural living world for us to consume its bounty and beauty. And consumption of carbohydrates at rates which are destroying the human organism. The rights and needs of humans are not more important than those of other living creatures, other living beings. Biocentrism is the focus with which to move away from human supremacy, to enable the natural living world to self-heal. Lenin said, "Revolution is impossible without a global crisis affecting both the exploited and the exploiters." And he also said, "There are decades when nothing happens, and weeks where decades happen." Divorce from dependence. Divorce from dependence on the interrelated systems of oppression that enslave us to work for money in order to exist. Once upon a time, these interrelated systems seemed monolithic and unassailable. But we have seen now how rapidly systems can change and how quickly we can adapt. Like Darwin pointed out, adaptability is one of the greatest strengths we have as a human race. That's what evolution is, adaptation. Divorcing but reframing globalist institutions. Divorcing the fear that is propagated with our belief and discussion about it. Revolution begins with people talking. Revolution begins with conversation about the truth. Let us be conscious of the fear that comes with the word virus. Let us reframe the meaning. Spread this to decrease the spread of COVID-19, and we will reframe this virus to be the corona of our human evolution by making this message go viral to leave the earth better than we found her, for the benefit of all beings, most especially for the one who gives us all. This celestial being, our heavenly body, the planet Earth, she is the mother of all. This may seem complex if you listen just once. It generally takes hearing something 9 times before humans can take in the information they've heard. Know that your mind will take what is important for your being to understand. I implore you to listen to or read this again in the morning before eating or drinking carbohydrates, which can affect our attention negatively, switching on the body's seeking consumption mode. I thank you for being here, for being part of this. You are part of the whole, and we are all in this together. Remembering our source, as stewards of the earth and all her inhabitants, it is easy to see we are one earthly family.